You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Hello, welcome to our show. This is Lennyr, family relationship and antidepressant expert, coming to you today with another true secret of life. Just a reminder that the truth is not always easy to hear, and these true secrets of life I share with you are not necessarily what you want to hear. Nevertheless, it's what you need to hear to avoid heartbreak, anxiety, and depression in your life. So, today's true secret of life is you can master your own game of life, or you can be replaceable on somebody else's game of life.
Wow. Well, I'm Dr. Stan Fine, her temporary co-host in the show, and I'm here to help Anna in the early shows. We're nationwide. We come to you every day, Monday to Friday on My Genre Radio Network, 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. So you can hear the show twice a day. You can get to it by going to zeno.fm and the city you live in. So if you're in Chicago, zeno.fm Chicago. If you're in New York, zeno.fm New York. You can also get to the show with usradionetwork.com and just click the My Genre logo, and that'll get you there also. So you got a lot of ways to hear wonderful Anna. And today's topic, what is today's topic before I ask the questions?
Today's topic, you can master your own game of life, or you can be replaceable on somebody else's game.
Wow. That's a good one. All right, Anna. So, number one, not all people are leaders. Some people are followers. So how can someone master their own game of life?
Well, this comes from a lot of my own experience with clients, because theoretically speaking, Dr. Stan, if you depend on anything or anybody in your life, sooner or later, you will be replaceable. It's very simple, right? So I just want to tell you a really quick, funny story. Somebody decided to read my hand. I don't know how they do that with the lines that you have on your hand, predict the future.
I don't even know if I believe it.
I don't know if I believe it or not. And anyway, some guy tells me that your life will end in about 2 years and then restarts again. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, what is it? It's like I make a heart attack and just somebody revives me. It's like, whatever. Okay, anyway. So my son would be 17 in about 2 years. So my son will be a minor, right? So how do I make sure that my son is independent when, he will be by himself, right? An orphan, theoretically, maybe even in foster care, right?
Right.
So here is very simple how you even prepare a child for these things to be independent and to master his own game of life. And I told him clearly, listen, you have everything here. All you have to prove to the judge is that you can manage financially everything. That you have a job, the house is yours, where do you get the money, where do you pay the bills? This is all you need to do to show somebody that you can master your own game of life. Because you don't depend on anybody, including a parent at that age. You're 1 year from being an adult.
Right.
So here is when we teach people emotional stability, emotional maturity, is for them to understand that they don't depend on parents, they don't depend on children, on partners, on a job. They don't depend on one job. You can find another. And this is what makes you master your own game of life. Not to freak out that you're getting fired, not to freak out in the way of a divorce, not to freak out that something happens to you, but to be knowing what is your answer to your challenges, sometimes before the challenges occur. They might occur, they might not. But guess what? I just told my kid what to do. And he said, oh, that's all I have to do? Yes. Oh, I got it, Mommy. Right? So it's that
Kids always
simple.
say that. They always say that.
Yeah, I understand, but it's that simple. He's not going to remember it now. But in case something happens, he will remember it. Oh, we talked about this, right? So a lot of times with my clients and with, the audience that we talk to all the time on these radio shows, please get ready for any challenge in life.
Right.
Now, be prepared. It's like, Dr. Stan, remember how they do all these drills in case a storm happens in the military, in case a hurricane happens, in case a fire happens, right? Fire department does this all the time, all these drills. What happens when, the roof comes on fire and the house is on fire and things like that. The same thing with challenges in life. Be ready before they occur. So when they occur, you don't end up in heartbreak, anxiety, depression, because that doesn't help you to resolve your challenge.
So you have to have a plan.
Yes, have a plan.
You have a plan.
That's
and
a master of a game of life.
You
That's a
put it in
plan.
writing or you can remember it, but it's a plan.
Yes,
And if it makes you feel safe.
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's more kids should have that. I think that would be good.
Kids, adults, because a lot of people freak out, especially after divorces, okay? And they end up with heart attacks, and they end up in depression, and they end up with all these things because they always say, my spouse was my rock. Why? Why you are not your own rock? Why were you depending on somebody else?
I had a psychologist once tell me that people catastrophize. They think of the worst case of what can happen to them.
Yes.
When they start thinking.
The
of things.
mind is built for this, Dr. Stan. This is what the mind is built for, to tell you what's the worst case scenario. So in everything you're going to start doing something new, the mind will tell you always the worst case scenario. Here is consciously, you have to come in and say, what's the best thing that can happen? And then the mind would answer that question. And then ask the other question, what's the more likely thing to happen? Because then you just don't go towards extremes, what's the best or what's the worst. You go to the middle, what's the most likely thing to happen, right? And when you do that, when it's the most likely thing to happen, it's probably what's going to happen, right?
I think a lot of people don't realize that repetition is king. The more you repeat it, the easier it becomes.
Exactly.
When you ride a bike or you ride a motorcycle or you type on a typewriter, you get better, or play guitar.
Exactly.
You get better as you repeat.
Yes, but sometimes you get better in worst behaviors.
That's true.
You have to be very careful because you're repeating behaviors that don't serve you.
So,
and then to unlearn is harder than to learn from scratch.
Anna, when you coach people, do you teach them this when you help them?
Yes. So when we work with parents with a teenager with all kind of problems, from anger to disobedience to withdrawn to depression, anxiety, video games, okay, or when we work with adults that suffer from heartbreak, anxiety, and depression, it is always we show them how to answer to the challenge before it happens. Visualize the challenge.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Here is how do you feel? Freaked out? Okay. Let's not freak out. Let's resolve it. Let's find solutions. And a lot of times, I just give him the solution. I give him the options. Which option sounds better for you? 1, 2, or 3? Which one is less drama for your life?
All right. So, Anna, many people repeat what they call generational cycles. Does that mean that they play somebody else's game?
Yes. They play the parents' game, the grandparents' game, and they keep on playing these games that are full of suffering and pain.
So they're kind of the victim of something is taught to them and they keep repeating it,
Yes.
but it may not be the best thing for
and
them.
it's unconscious, Dr. Stan. It's very, very unconscious. For example, how coincidental was that I had my first child the same age my mom did? I found out that I have a hernia of disc at the same age my mom did. I was a single mom exactly like my mom was. I was working 80 hours a week exactly like my mom was. What is this? Learned behavior.
Yeah.
Very simple, learned behavior. where you keep on going like on autopilot. And you're like, at some point I was like, what do I do in this lifetime? I repeat my mother's life?
Exactly.
And at the age of 38, I was actually, had that choice because my mom died at the age of 55 from a condition linked to depression, and she died overnight. And at the age of 38, I was diagnosed with the same disease. And I said, okay, well, I was hoping I have 17 more years, but looks like I don't. What am I going to do? Repeat her death in one day?
I wonder how many therapists get a patient that's repeat behavior of their parents from the prior generation.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time it happens. Actually, about 90% of women, specifically that have been through generational depression like I did, they repeat the patterns, specifically the mother pattern.
Okay.
And about 50% of men only. So here the men are a little bit better, not repeating the same patterns. They're able to separate from it, right? And when I say separate from it, sometimes it means running away.
Mm-hmm.
Running away and waking up. Like I had some clients at the age of 70 that were depressed. I was fine all my life. No, you ignored your pain all your life because it doesn't happen at the age of 70 when you're supposed to enjoy life, right? So things like that a lot of times, specifically women do this. And it's a way of saving the parents. It's a way of honoring and respecting the parents, but we don't respect them and honor them in the right way. We only copy-paste pain. We only copy-paste emotional wounding and suffering. In my case, copy-paste the fact that I had no idea about relationships. That's why we were all single moms for 3 generations. So when I came to my mentors, they said, you need to stop this. How do I do it? You master relationships. That's the first thing they taught me and the first thing that I teach everybody. Master relationship is the most important skill to master your own game of life and not play somebody else's game where you are replaceable.
I think it's good wisdom. Good wisdom. So, what exactly do you have to take into consideration to play your own game of life? What is, and you gave me a formula. I want you to talk about it. You talked about relationships, emotional behavior, health, and money. So would you break that down, what that means when you have to take all that into consideration? What does that mean?
When we talk about the game of life, we don't talk about one challenge and one problem to resolve right now.
Right.
Like, for example, my partner left me with 3 kids at home, and I ended up to be a single mom or a single dad, right? And now I'm just overwhelmed with everything I need to do, right? This is not about only one challenge. It's about how to master every challenge and make it easier for you, practically making your life easier by day by day by day.
Okay.
And your life consists, number 1, in relationships. Relationships with yourself and everybody around you. If you do not build amazing family relationships, I can guarantee you're going to copy-paste some kind of generational pain, some kind of problems that you're going to have later on in life. Right? Because if you can manage your own family, like your own kid, how are you going to manage anybody else that doesn't even know you, doesn't know who you are, doesn't know what's in your heart? Right? So here, a lot of times we're fooling ourselves, and we don't have a great relationship with ourselves or with the people around us.
You have to learn to live with yourself. With
Exactly.
anybody.
It's the only person you're going to live with for your entire life. What if you end up alone on the planet? What you going to do? You're going to just stay next to the dead people and die too? Okay? So, come on, let's face it here, okay? So, here is, you need to live with yourself first. And then, the entire game of life needs to be about how do you get along with people, even with people that you do not like or they do not like you.
You know, the audience can't see you, but they can see you on Facebook, on Radio 63119. If you want to tune into the show, you can go there too, and they can see you. And you can see how unemotional Anna is. No, I'm kidding. Anna is very passionate, right, Mark? Mark's the general manager of the station. And he's going, yeah, man, you're right, man. She's it, man. You know.
I have to keep my hands to myself because I'm going to hit the microphone at some point.
You know, I always stay about 3 feet away because I don't want to get hit by a meteor. Oh, right. Hey, we got some applause there. Oh, I love that, man. Hey, thank you. Hey, tell us about emotional balance. Now,
Yes.
That's another piece of this.
The emotional balance is the actual cause of everything.
Yes.
Anxiety, depression, heartbreak, health, relationships, and your own career.
Yeah.
It's the root cause of everything. If you have been emotionally wounded, and there are 5 emotional wounds, okay, you have 3, you're depressed, you have 5, you're suicidal. You have 2, you have anxiety. If you have been emotionally wounded, those things need to get fixed. Time doesn't heal emotional wounds. Time only kills us. Okay? Very simple. Sorry. None of us is immortal in this lifetime.
Okay.
Okay? So here is emotional balance is actually the foundation of everything you have to build. I have the honor of, for what I do and my work, because everybody wants more of what I do, right? To meet a lot of millionaires and billionaires.
I've been looking at the pictures of you on YouTube. You're on with some pretty well-known people.
Yes.
You've shared stages with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Jillian Michaels and Jessie Cole and
Yeah,
J.D. Fox.
the gal that will
Yeah.
get your body better and all that. I
Yes.
remember her. She's
Yes.
tough.
Yeah, exactly. So these people, they have their own challenges in life. They have their own difficulties in life. But when they have to start negotiating business, they drop the emotion.
Oh, really?
They drop the emotion.
They detach.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So here is how do you have your own challenges, but you don't bring it to the table to ruin your relationship with your spouse, with your kids. Okay? To not be able to find your true potential and to get to the career level you want. Okay? Here is how do you learn how to do this.
And some people may be tuning in. I didn't mean to interrupt because we got one more part to that answer. But if somebody's tuning in right now, who are they listening to? You want to tell them who you are again?
Yes, we're listening to Anna Lennyr, family relationship and anti-depression expert. And yes, today we're coming to you with this one secret of life that everybody should know about because it's very, very, very important. You can master your own game of life, or you can be replaceable on somebody else's game.
Right. Thank you, Anna. It's good to let the audience know who they're listening to because you're a brand new national personality. You're in 100 cities today. So let's go back to when you play your own game of life. Let's go into the last piece, which was health and money. What does that mean, health and money?
So what we did not know until years and years, before, and now we do. We do know these things through the work of 2 wonderful ladies. One of them is called Louise Hay, and the other one is Liz Bourbeau. I think they're both Canadian, like French Canadian. I'm not certain about it. And what we have learned from their lifetime of work is exactly how emotional imbalance is connected to your health. If you go to any doctor out there, they know that the cause of your health problems is stress. Everybody tells you you're too stressed out, de-stress, right? For everything, anxiety, depression, any kind of pain, hurt, right? Yeah. Everything is linked to stress. But what we did not know is that each level of emotional wounds is linked to a specific problem in health.
That's true. I've had cancer and I've had a heart attack and I had some pretty serious stuff in my life. and it's tied to things.
Exactly.
I had emotional deterioration, for lack of a better term.
Yes. So you, deep down, probably in your youth, you believe you were not enough.
Oh man, and I'll tell you, my parents were so poor. We took charity, and five brothers, and all we got to hear was we weren't enough. I mean, my mom and dad worked 3 jobs each, and it was like you're never going to be more than what you are here.
Exactly.
Yet all my brothers have been very successful because at the end of the day, we rewrote our emotional balance.
Exactly.
You know, our plan.
Yes.
We had to. We were going to die if we didn't do it.
Exactly.
And they died very young, too.
Exactly.
You know, so I agree with you on the health and money.
Yes.
Not everybody's going to be a millionaire, I don't think.
No, but you know, a lot of times what we don't understand is that we don't have to choose. Everybody, when they don't understand how to make money, they don't understand that money is energy and is linked to everything as a game of life, right? Or they hate rich people, or they hate money, or things like that. And I was very, very poor in a very poor country in Romania, and today I'm on stages with millionaires and billionaires, right? So just to show you potential, what's possible for every one person out there, right? When they don't understand this, all the time they said, oh, I want love and health and I don't want money. And I'm like, no, you need to want it all. It's part of a game of life. You need to know how to play it all. Otherwise, it will hurt you.
Yeah, and I think the audience needs to know that Anna can help you with that. She has a True Secrets of Life fan club, or what do we call it? It's a club.
It's an academy.
I'm sorry. What would you mind just, because I think it's really neat.
So if you go to our website, truesecretsoflife.com, exactly like
brand new
this
website.
show.
It's beautiful.
Yes. We have the options to get into the academy. The academy is where all true secrets of life are stored for whoever is interested. Okay, not just one like today, right? And the fee today it's $27 for a whole year of access.
I mean, you got at least go there and look and join. You spend that much on all these pills that are out there.
Well, you spend that much a week on these pills, because this is just a yearly fee. It's not a monthly fee.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's incredible.
Yes, and it doesn't help you. It keeps you numb, and it just doesn't help you. And then it gives you all kind of side effects and all kind of issues.
No, absolutely. So I want to ask you a question let's talk about, what if you don't know how to play this game? What do you do, Anna? What's the deal if you don't know how to play this game?
If you don't know how to play this game, you're going to end up living in depression.
Very sad.
Like I did for 27 years of my life.
Do people don't know your story? You want to just take a minute and share what happened to you?
Yes. So good question is like, what happened to you? That's the questions we need to ask, and not what's wrong with you. Because there is nothing wrong with people in depression. There are tremendous a lot of potential there that hasn't been uncovered because there is too much pain. So, when you said what happened to you, it was the right question, Dr. Stan.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
Because most people think that when they encounter these issues, like anxiety and depression and heartbreak, and they can't find the right partner, or the partner doesn't love them and respect them, that there is something wrong with them. All right? And there is nothing wrong with them, except that you don't have the necessary skills to pass your challenges in life. Right?
That's incredible. I think you're wonderful. I mean, I've gotten to know you early on, but what you do could help so many people shortcut this stuff,
So about my story, I was depressed since the age of 12. By the age of 14, I already started having health issues because I didn't have any emotional balance. I only had emotional wounding.
Okay.
So these kind of health issues express themselves through headaches, migraines, insomnia, and an S-shaped scoliosis that gave me fibromyalgia. So bad that I couldn't sit down in a classroom for a whole year. I had to stand and write on my lap in the back of a classroom.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And this escalated in a lot more problems. And at some point, I ended up suicidal at the age of 19 because I couldn't sleep for 2.5 years of my life. And I lost it. I wanted to sleep. That's all I wanted. In the meantime, my mother was an alcoholic, also an extraordinary famous teacher in town, which split my personality into two. Should I respect my mom or should be angry because she's an alcoholic? Right? Or maybe I'm not enough. That's why she can't quit drinking. Right? So these kind of splits happened to people, and they end up living a lifetime in depression, in anxiety, in heartbreak, right? And this is why we talk about this all the time. If you don't know how to play this game, okay, which is fine, because nobody taught you, because you didn't know how to play it, and many people suffer, right? You need to learn the skills to play it. You need to start learning. And this is how I overcame depression. I start learning from scratch everything. Because the only thing I knew, if you listen to the previous show, is to how to play the game of suffering. I did not know how to play the game of life.
Anna, if people want to get a hold of you because they want to begin to use either your coaching or your new book, which we'll talk about in the second half, what you're working on, how do they get a hold of you?
The easiest way is to go to truesecrets.com and join our academy. It's very simple. We have too many clients and we cannot take them all. Only the ones part of the academy are able to get a hold of me.
So go to truesecrets.com.
And just join the academy.
Join the academy. Now that you may be somebody that really needs Anna. So
yes, and maybe you have a family member who is lost.
Yeah, and there'll be ways on the website on how you can do it.
Yes, they're just buttons.
And yeah, you can get a hold of her.
So we've been talking on the first part of a show about this secret of life, which is crucial for everybody to get it.
So the question would be, what's the most important part in the game of life?
Exactly.
And what is it, Anna?
So the most important part in this game of life, where you have to master it. Otherwise, you're just going to be replaceable on somebody else's game.
You're going to be tossed to the creek.
Exactly. Everything is replaceable out here, right? In this physical
That's why there's
world.
so many divorces.
Exactly. Exactly. Because that's the most important part of it. Is relationships.
Oh boy, and how? Yeah.
Yes, I know, Dr. Stan, you've been divorced. I've been divorced twice, and we got the memo too late in life. But you will be surprised, Dr. Stan. I have a lot of clients who are young kids who say, listen, my parents are divorced, okay? I don't know anything about relationships. I don't know anything about anything, okay? Everybody comes with their own ideas, but nobody comes to tell me, this is a misconception about relationship. This is the truth about relationships. What should I do if this happens? What should I do if the other happens? And we don't want to slip into, meeting narcissistic people or be in codependency situations or end up abandoned or end up in heartbreak. So can you tell us the formula? And you'll be surprised we have a course specifically for that. The formula of true love.
Really?
True love secrets. This is exactly how it's called. And why do we call it true? Is because it's based on trust, respect, understanding, and evolving as an individual as well as together.
It's called the True Love Formula.
True love secrets.
Oh, True Love Secrets. Okay.
Yes, but it's a formula. It's a 7-step formula where we talk about misconceptions about love. We talk about what true love versus codependency and painful love is. Okay? We talk about the 4 types of men and women out there. How you can find who you truly want, not who you attract energetically, because maybe you attract kookadoos, and this is not what you want. Right? There is a specific type of man, for example, that a woman should not marry. There is a specific type of woman that if you get your hands on her and she's not depressed or wounded or anything like that, can make any man rich. So you need to know these secrets.
What does that mean, you can make any man rich?
This woman has...
She gives him a piece of paper and says...
No,
okay.
This woman has so much love.
Okay.
Trusts her partner so much.
Okay.
That if she hasn't been wounded, if she hasn't been hurt, only with that energy of love and respect, and the man goes to work in the morning like he's God and comes back like he's another God. And this energetically lifts you up, and you can actually do more than your limits. And this woman doesn't even know how to drive, doesn't even know how to press the computer buttons. Okay, a lot of people call her stupid. I'm like, she's not stupid at all. She just is full of love and can transfer this to the partner in complete true love.
This is part of the plan and the game,
Yes.
So this is number one, which is just a piece of what you help people through
Yes.
in relationships.
Yes.
So if you're listening, whether you're in Canada, the USA, wherever you're at, it isn't any different. It's relationships.
Exactly.
And if somebody loves you, they're going to support you.
Yes, exactly. Right? They're going to support you, and they're not going to take you down. And if they do take you down, it might be because they've been hurt themselves.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Like, for example, we have couples that they come to us, and she's in depression, he's totally immune to depression. That's possible, by the way. You can have these skills that we teach sometimes from birth, and no depression ever hits you, right? And they don't get along because one of them is like, oh, my husband doesn't understand me, and the husband is like, what is wrong with her? It's like, she doesn't get, it's like, forget about all this drama. Who needs all this drama, right? She has been wounded.
Yeah.
Okay. And she, deep down in her subconscious mind, ended up to believe that all men are there to hurt women.
No.
Okay. And even if she has an amazing husband who will give his life for her, she just doesn't get the memo. He's right there dying in front of her. She just doesn't get it.
So
right?
it ends up in a divorce because...
They called me before they got divorced, and she got it. She took this particular course of True Love Secrets. It's only 3.5 hours. She changed her entire life.
So people can come to you and take these as courses.
Through the academy, yes, they can come and take these courses. Okay.
Sure.
Because a lot of them, either they cannot find the right partner.
Right.
They don't know how to maintain a great relationship, or sometimes they are that close to divorce. And I tell people, don't divorce until you don't talk to me for 5 minutes if you need to, okay? Because you might be making a mistake and you might not understand how you can fix it in 30 days. Why would you spend $20,000 on a divorce? Okay, it's like $13,000 in Illinois per person, right? Of which $11,000 goes to the attorneys. Okay, when in 30 days you can fix your relationship with your spouse.
I got this story is just a quick story about my my second divorce, but it's very quick.
I did not know that.
So I was hurt so bad with the first divorce that I said, I'm going to get an attorney that's a shark. And I walked in the attorney's office. I said, you got a reputation for being a shark and protecting me. And I threw my American Express card down on it. And I said, this is yours. And he went, what do you mean, what is this? I said, it's got a $15,000 limit. That's yours to get this divorce. You run out of money before it, it's over. And I handed it to him and said, down to the penny, it was every bit of $15,000.
Exactly.
But I made the money on the divorce to make it back, But it was so sad because, Anna, because I had to do that. But I got tougher in my second time. And the point was, you're right. We could have settled it peacefully. We could have found up different answers.
And
we
pay $700 both of you to just go in front of a judge and
or get a mediator.
Just talk it through.
Yeah, but the judges. I mean, you're right. But judges did a mediator. But you're right. So, in this first one, we're talking about the first important part. So let me go on to the next question. So what if somebody decides to sacrifice their life for a child or a family member? What does that mean?
Yes, this is all the time a question that we have from clients.
Really?
And why do we have this question from clients? Suffering has been embedded in us for over 2,000 years since Jesus died.
Right.
He sacrificed for us. he knew what he was doing. We have no clue. Okay? So here is everybody believes that if they sacrifice themselves for someone, they're going to get that true love we were talking about.
Right.
Doesn't work this way, unfortunately. They're going to get less respected. They're going to be thrown away and replaced. Okay? Because at the end of a game, okay, I would have sacrificed my life to save my mom. She would have sacrificed her life to save me from depression. But did any of us wanted that? Okay? Did I ask my mom, I want you to sacrifice for me? Or did she do the same? Okay? So here we presume that somebody wants our sacrifice. And we don't understand that all they want is to master their own game of life. They want their own independence. They want their own to learn how to overcome their own challenges. Not for somebody to save them all the time.
So how can somebody who suffers from depression play their own game of life?
So somebody that suffers from depression is unfortunately... And yeah, I know I'm going to say something right now that is going to shock a lot of people.
Just say it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they die every day from within.
Really?
So that's not playing a game of life. That's dying it down.
They're
Okay.
dying because of their...
They're dying from within because everything they know they can do, they cannot. It's too much pain.
Yeah.
It's like holding the whole sky and the whole world on their shoulders. You're going to take it for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 3 months. But when you have to take it for 27 years, or some of our clients for 60 years, it takes you down. It kneels you to the ground. Okay? So here is, you're not playing any game. You're just in suffering mode, frozen in pain. You're frozen in pain. We have to defreeze you from pain. Okay? But we cannot do that without the person's permission. Because a lot of them, they're so used to suffering, they're like, I'm comfortable with this.
Really? People actually say
Yes,
that?
I'm comfortable with
They're
it.
comfortable suffering?
Yes, because it's a sweet poison. That's what depression is. It's a very sweet poison. You get a lot of benefits from it. You got a lot of attention. You get a lot of attention from the government. You get a lot of days off. You got a lot of attention with it, okay? Then you're like, oh, I just need time by myself, not understanding that you're wasting time. You're not healing, okay? When we put people in, you tell them that, isolate yourself to heal. We give them the formula. We give them the strategy, what to do every day, not just sit in bed for 20 hours. That's not healing from anything. That's frozen in pain, right? We are so used to suffering. It's like embedded in us, Dr. Stan. Okay. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing how much we can take until we say enough. And guess what? Some people say enough when they're like 5 seconds away from suicide.
I want to remind the audience that if you are just tuning in, and we're in the last 14 minutes of the show, that this is the Anna Lennyr. She's a family relationship and anti-depression expert. She comes to you today with another one of her true secrets of life. And Anna always says, just a reminder that the truth is not always easy to hear, and these truths of life she shares with you are not necessarily what you want to hear. Nevertheless, it's what you need to hear to avoid heartbreak, anxiety, and depression in your life. And with that, Anna, I think we're in the last questions of the show, but we got time.
Yes.
I want to just take a moment. You're writing a new book. It's not out yet.
Yes.
But what you want to share with the audience for the very first time? You don't have to get the order or how to order it yet. It's not out there. But what is the book going to be about? Because you're so knowledgeable in this field. What is it? What is the book going to be about?
The book is how to never end up in depression.
Is that going to be the title, or is that?
No.
Okay.
But the book title probably is going to be called 100 True Secrets of Life.
Oh, I like that.
Why 100? Because we have noticed that the average person that comes to us with all kind of issues, relationship issues, heartbreak issues, with anxiety, with depression, with any of that, so they take 100 days to process all the new information we give them, including today's show, right? Because this is one secret. You can master your own game of life, or you can be replaceable or somebody else's game. It takes them a while, approximately 100 days. So if we structure these days, each day you are reading and living one of these secrets of life, you can not only overcome depression, you can never end up back. You can prevent it. You can never end up in this trap, which to me is the trap of hell. Because I lived it and I know exactly how it is.
Right.
And it takes so long to get out of it, approximately 3 months, right? Some people take even 7 months. Okay, there are people that take 9 weeks, okay, to get out of it.
Wow.
Right? So, but here is, it takes so long to get out. How about preventing this whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay? How about ending it and not suffer and actually live the life you deserve and desire? Live it for your true potential. Don't have to deal with relationship problems and emotional imbalance and health issues. And, I cannot go for a higher job because I'm afraid I'm going to get fired or whatever, or I'm not going to make it. Or here is all these insecurities, right, that we all have. But if I structure it in 100 secrets that everybody can read anytime they think they slip in a way or another, okay, we can actually prevent depression to start with.
Well, and we'll let the audience know as the book takes shape, so
Yes.
you can get your advanced copies. So, Anna, going back to the life as a game, do you consider the life as a game?
Yes, it's exactly like a video game with levels.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing, right? On the bottom level are the people who suffer the most.
Mm-hmm.
These are people with generational depression like I had, suicidal, right? On the middle, there are people that are fighting their way, like warriors trying to fight with life, and they work 3 to 5 times harder than anybody else to make a living and to support their families and to, make it out there. And they always think that if I can get that, I'm going to be happy. If I can get the other, I'm going to be happy. For me, it was if I can get a house, if I can get a better job, if I can have a child. And every time when you go through everything else, happiness still doesn't come.
Right.
Because you're fighting with life. You don't know how to surf with it, how to use it in your own benefit. You go against it like a fighter, right? And the last level is when you know how to maneuver it all, how to switch it all in your favor.
Okay.
When you know how to overcome your challenges and how to turn them into your own benefit. And this is exactly what we teach, Dr. Stan.
Okay. So, what's the key point in mastering this game? We talk about lessons. Tell me about that.
Everything that happens is a lesson.
Okay.
Remember that just a couple of days ago we put this show as a nationwide show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about my mom who, died overnight at the age of 55, depressed. She never lived 1 week happy in her life. Okay. She knew I was depressed when she died. I was just thinking about how her experience made me who I am today. Because I learned the lesson. I could have just repeated her life. I could have just stayed in the bottom hell level of a game, right? But if you cannot learn the lesson, and suffering comes here, and in a way comes to save you, comes to tell you what it doesn't work for you and what you need to change, even if you don't know exactly how you need to change it. Because I did not know how to change it, right? But here, everything is a lesson. The fact that, she suffered, she died. It was a lesson for me when it came my turn to die. I said, no. I switched it around, right? Everything and everybody in your life is a lesson. And a lot of times we don't get the right lesson.
No.
We run away, right? How many people that are divorced, they say, oh, I will never, find somebody. I will never be with anybody. I will never get married. Guess what? Depression doesn't discriminate when your life is sad without love. How about learning and mastering relationships so you won't be afraid of the next person in your life?
Right.
Right? So here sometimes we think we get the lesson, but we go on the negative side, on the hiding side, and we learn the wrong lesson. And then it repeats and it repeats and it repeats.
Depression is probably one of the top mental illnesses in the country today. It's one
In the
of
world, I would say.
Oh, in the world. Okay.
Every 40 seconds, somebody dies on this planet by suicide.
Wow. So I think the most important thing you can take away from this today is to start to think about things a little differently. And let me go on to the next question, which is, what's the key point in mastering this game? What's the key point?
The key point is growth and expansion. This is all we want, is growth and expansion. When pain and suffering is in the way, you cannot do that. No one can do that. You cannot grow and expand when you have thoughts that you're afraid of everything in your life, that you're not going to find the right person, that you are not enough, that you have been abandoned and there is something wrong with you. You're not going to think about what's my next business plan. You're not going to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. It's not like you don't want to. You just cannot. Your mind takes over on the negative side. And you just cannot, right? So here is, excuse me, growth and expansion.
Yes. Well, while you're taking some water, I want to remind the audience that Anna's, a relationship and antidepressant expert, and that if you want to use her services, you can certainly go to, was it TrueSecrets.com?
TrueSecretsOfLife.com.
TrueSecretsOfLife.com, and you can talk to her about this. Maybe you're a candidate, maybe you're not, but, it's certainly worth the time. So let me get on to, I think it's worth the time, because I spent years with psychiatrists. I totally agree with you. So, Anna, what's the purpose in playing this game of life?
This growth and expansion comes in different ways.
Okay.
A lot of times we stop it intentionally because we're afraid, right? So what do we say? I don't need money. When you say you don't need money, it means actually that you don't know how to make the money.
Okay.
That game you don't know how to play. Okay? I don't need somebody in my life. That tells me you don't know how to master relationships. You don't know how to play that game. All right? So here we stop it instead of playing it fully. And it's amazing. It's amazing because my life in the last 7 years, since I overcame depression, goodness, it accelerated at an extraordinary level. I was nobody before, and I accomplished in 7 years more than 3 generations of my family.
Amazing.
This is what's possible. And each person that suffers from anxiety, depression, heartbreak, they have a tremendous potential. And guess what? They know they have a tremendous potential.
They know it?
Yes. Deep down, they know it. They just don't know how to unlock it. They don't know how to use it. And this is exactly why what we teach. Take the pain away. Strip it apart. Don't worry, your heart will still be there. Okay? Without pain, who needs that? Who needs drama? Who needs Shakespeare? Okay? It's only for literature. Okay? You don't want that in your life, right? So strip it away and then just play fully everything you want in life. But a lot of people, because there is so much embedded in suffering, they don't really know what they want either. You ask them, what do you want? I don't know. What do you truly want? I don't know.
They say that?
Not only that they say that,
But they do.
but it happened to me too. I remember one of the last assignments that I had from my mentor is to write down 100 wishes on a piece of paper. And he said, as soon as you're done, tomorrow or after tomorrow, just call me because we're almost ending. And after a couple of weeks, he calls me and said, you didn't call me. I'm like, I didn't even make it to 50 yet. It took me almost 3 months to make it to 100 wishes. These are wishes. These wishes, man, just wishes. You just go and fly in the sky. It's like nothing serious. Okay, nothing that you're going to put in practice. It's just write down some wishes. And I couldn't put down 100. And I urge the audience, go ahead. Go and put down 100 wishes on paper and see how hard it is to make it to 100 when you've been suffering all your life and you have learned not even to wish, because wishing is not going to happen for you.
Well, in another organization called Alcoholics Anonymous, they teach about gratitude lists.
Yes.
And they tell people that are suffering from alcoholism, that are recovering, that they want them to spend some time writing about gratitude. Talk about the things you are grateful for.
Yes.
Change the way you look at the world.
Yes.
And change the things, you feel this disease of alcoholism, but it's life is much better than that.
Exactly.
And I think with Anna, today we're basically talking about how you can approach that on a weekly basis. She's going to have guests on her show to talk about different areas of content. She's going to talk about stories. So, this is just the beginning of our journey with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening to our show today, okay? Because it's important. It's important to learn how to master your own game of life and not be replaceable on somebody else's game. And if you haven't had the chance to listen to the entire show, I urge you to go to truesecretsoflife.com, where you can see our most recent show. Right there, a simple button. And do not forget, you deserve to live the life you desire. And here is closing in. See you tomorrow. This is Lennyr.
Hello, I'm Cece Schatz, and I'd like to welcome you to Going Solo Network, #1 complete singles connection. We strive to connect singles in a positive and fun way. Together, singles will begin to make new and lasting friendships, learn more about themselves, and embrace our new today lifestyle of going solo. Being single doesn't mean you have to be alone, and you can live a full, fun life, bringing your vibration to a higher level of attraction. Going Solo Network is an interactive social support singles community with several platforms helping singles connect with other like-minded individuals. We cover things like relationship loss, divorce recovery, embracing being single, single parenting, restructuring relationships, relationship building, transition into dating, and dating itself, solo in business, and going solo travelers. Be sure to join our private and exclusive fun interactive websites designed for singles today who want to begin to embrace living and enjoying the space they're in. Together we will learn to open our hearts, our minds. We will begin to share and connect with others while exploring our personal life goals as we begin to make a place in our new life. We will start to move forward in going solo to actually living our best lives. Going solo doesn't mean you have to be alone. Today, together, let's begin changing your life. Today, join the singles at Going Solo Network and start to live your new life. I'll see you there on GoingSoloNetwork.com.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio Channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.